yeah, hi. I actually remembered to charge my headset. Miracle, I know. But how are you guys? How is Thursday? And I know this is an odd day for me to be on. Which also, let me switch ears. That's better. It always feels weird when there's stupid things in this air. But yeah, I know today, not usually on, but given Verizon, I had to go fix the things and the stuff. That meant no internet for me, thus no streaming. Although things are fixed now, so that works out. Let's see. I'm trying to think of any sort of updates before I get into stuff and things. Minor one. I added the drop game to like most of the screens here, so you can do exclamation point drop and throw in an emote, which it is currently the fall theme that I put on there. Although you can have like a bunch of different themes. They have some premium ones too. But yeah, fall theme for the drop game, which that includes the Be Right Back screen. Not this one. At least I don't. Yeah, I don't think it's on this one. Although I could add it here. Let me check. I think I was debating that when I was adding this yesterday, when I was tinkering around. I was like, that works. Okay, and now it's there, so let's see. Yeah. Probably fine if I just leave it like this. Whatever. You can do it now. But yeah, it's on pretty much almost all of the screens except the end screen and the game screen. Those are the only two screens where I don't have that on. Oh yeah, wait, and the getting started scene. Also don't have it there, so make that 3. So yeah, added that, been tinkering around with Etsy stuff and things. Which they're like, hey, it's probably better if you use like multiple word tags for things, and I'm just like, you know, sometimes I use one word, which sometimes it's the more popular words, which makes it hard to be found and that sort of thing. Which trying to bend SEO to your will is kind of a pain in the ass, so it's annoying. But yeah, I was tinkering around with that for like a little bit today, and what else? I was gonna have a little thing where it's like I put updates, you know, like Devicat does, where it's like latest news and whatnot. That's pretty much the idea. Also, anybody hanging out does not know, I have pins, which I cannot reach Donut Pin because Donut Pin is all the way down there, out of my reach. But Donut Pins are available in the Ko-fi shop, which I'm gonna probably just keep them there, just because I'm trying not to do way too many things in the Etsy shop. Plus, I already do a ton of that stuff. Golden Ember! Hi! I wasn't sure you'd pop in over here. Which, I now have you... Well, now it's technically me, so I'm gonna go close that window, because I don't need to see myself. Thank you for the raid! Hi, guys! Hey, on Bear, Felix, Petite Story, It's Wild. So Liz was a turncoat. In the best way possible. But hi guys, welcome. Thank you for the raid. I presume Girl November gave me an introduction. But for anybody who doesn't know me, hi, Serena, variety caster of way too many things. It's a long list of things because apparently I need to do the things. I just came over. Fair. Fair. I tend to do that in reverse sometimes, so that is fair. But yes, crafty variety things in the most part, so knitting, crocheting, spinning, weaving. We got chainmail happening today, but also spinning, so that covers 2 out of those main 5 things. There's sometimes art, which that usually is yesterday, but given Verizon decided yesterday was the day to come fix things, I had no internet during that majority of that interim, so I was just like, you know what? I'll just do digital art offline then. Screw it. And that's what I did. Which, I was gonna do more digital art on stream today, and then I was like, you know what? Nah. I could probably skip it on stream this week. But yeah, so art being digital and traditional art stuff, and sometimes games. I like Words on stream a lot. And there's also Stardew Valley, because I like the chill games. So, if you happen to enjoy any of these things, totally feel free to give a follow, potentially hang out here, and hopefully you'll have a good time. Given I'm just getting started, I was just running down the basics of anything new and so on and so forth, which, for the most part, not really. We have the drop game now, which I had the Plinko game, which I still do have that on the Be Right Back screen, which, for anybody who's not been here before, you'll see that later. Oh yeah, also, while I'm blabbing about things, let me remember to mention the sale going on with Knitpicks and WeCrochet, which Go Remember has an affiliate link to, along with myself. There is also 9.5. There is Sarah Dawn's Designs. We all have respective links to one or the other, or both, which is a 20% off sale until the 26th. So the end of the 26th? So yeah, probably like only just before it turns the 27th, basically, is when the sale goes on towards. Which, hilariously enough, the email for that got somehow put into my old junk mail. And I was just like, what are you doing here? I kind of need that. Weird. My mail sorting sometimes does weird things, which is why I try to check my junk mail every so often, just in case. Which, also sometimes the end of stream of how you did and whatever ends up in there, although arguably I could just opt out of that mailing, because it's mostly just filling in my inbox. Let's be real. Anyhow, let's get over here. And how about my mouse do the thing? There we go. In limited space land, I have to like shift things around, but oops. Chainmail, and more chainmail, which I mostly have this out just for the steel ones hanging out over here, although I tend to not use this size just because you kind of have a little bit of grip on here to get these open. Well, more like a little strength. Also, how'd these green ones get over here? You end up over here. It must have shifted a little bit. Which is a thing that happens sometimes, and then rings end up in places where they're not supposed to be, and it's annoying. It does not help I don't have long fingernails to get the rings situated. Which, for anybody marveling at how small these are, trust me, they come tinier than that, but this is about as small as I'm personally willing to go with chainmail rings. But that's just me. Which, for the most part, this is kind of a hobby, although I do make stitch markers out of chainmail rings, which you can probably check out on my Etsy shop. I have a couple of, well, 5 pre-made sets hanging out in the shop, and then you could choose your own set, sort of deal. Which there's the regular ones with the rings, and then ones with the wee little lobster clasps, if that's your jam. Alright, that should mostly do it for now. There are quite a well, there's at least a couple chainmailers I personally know offhand, like, I could think of off the top of my head, that do this on Twitch, so, is it this? No. Stitch markers, yes, though. Which, okay. I actually have a thing over here with basically all the sets I have. But it's like currently 5 of them. Which, basically stuff like these. Fairy Wings, which, let me actually shout her out while I'm blabbing here. the stuff to sell. No, it's totally fine. I do not mind being asked questions. There we go. That's the point. But yeah, Bear Wings makes stuff to sell. You can do reenactments with stuff, but most of the people I've personally seen on Twitch, like the couple I've seen, do it for, you know, for selling things like jewelry and therefore that sort of thing. Thank you. Actually, yeah, I have like 5 sets hanging out here. Although, that's the beaded one, which that one's been hanging out for a while in the shop. And this one's more like a Valentine-y color sort of thing. Ah, okay, I forgot. My bad. Thank you, Liz. I wasn't sure if she'd, like, stopped doing that altogether. Hi, Jane. Okay. No, you're not. You'll arrive whenever you need to. But I had a feeling you were lurking since I didn't see you in the raid brigade going on. Let's see. Have I decided what I want to do? But yeah, stitch markers, there's stuff like this too. I don't do a ton of it, so... She's having... Yeah, she is making some pretty stickers though. So... Not the worst thing ever. That seriously sucks, because she made some really pretty chainmail. I will tell you that right now. Which, let's see. I'm probably just going to be making one of these for myself. Which, this is like one of the basic weaves, Byzantine, except I have like 3 rings here in the middle part. Instead of 2, which is like one of those basic variations. So you can just go for the... Yeah, stainless steel makes it very friendly to doing all the stuff and things. Which, I'm wondering if I should put some of these, except, you know, they're being very annoying to open at times. Which I do have 2 sides, which this is the larger rings here are also steel, which that would be these. Which, these aren't that bad to open, you just need a little bit of grip strength to it. Not terribly much. Which, even my older pliers, before I got these, I could actually open them. It was a little bit more work, because they were the mediocre kind. And then these, you kind of have to, like... Which, these are about the same size as these, which these colored ones are anodized aluminum, which... The anodization process is how they get their color, hence the name. But yeah, I kind of have to grip on here a little bit. Which, this is not a thing that's, like, hand-friendly after a while, so that's partially why I don't do a ton of it. Although, given how many crafts I do that involve my hands, it's like... I'm technically not really taking a break, but yet I am. Also, thank you, Girl November, for putting my shop link in there. And hand strength, yeah. Again, anodized aluminum, it's not so bad. Like, it's basically like nothing, especially when you're holding on to steel beforehand. I didn't pre-open any of these, but it's fine. It's fine. I'm probably going to do majority this color and then figure out what color I'd want in this portion here. Although it's been a while since I've done this, so I'm probably going to be like, how the heck do I do this? Although it's not that difficult, if memory serves. Although I'm half considering taking this one apart and or just selling it just because this is like, eh. Although there's nothing wrong with it, it's just more of, this is a bit of a neutral color for me. Although if you want something subtle, this would probably work. Alright. Also, everybody who came in with the raid, how are you guys doing? I hope you guys are well. Hopefully Thursday is treating you well. Which I keep having to remind myself it's Thursday. Also, that also reminds me I should turn on GiftBot. I normally try to turn on all the stuff and things when I first get on here, but sometimes I forget because, you know, such is life. There is GiftBot. Ta-da! Now I gotta wait for it, and then it's gonna make another window. The thing is, I don't have Streamlabs open anyway. Although I think I would have to re-download that. Because it's usually a bit easier to see all the stuff and things going on. Because the dashboard is a bit incomplete because it doesn't show hosts that are not, you know... What's its face? Ah, also, what did I do with the thing? Uh-oh. Nope. Oh wait, it's right here, I think. Nope. This is why I shouldn't put things down in a mass of something that is the exact same color. It'll just create problems for me. Oh well. Oh well. Although, that's kind of why I usually like to have a wire along the edge of it. Which I do have a couple of wires, so let me go grab one of those. Put this over here so I do not get it lost in the abyss of electric purple. What did I do with it? Yeah. Is it in here? No. Although I have organized up here a little bit, so... Although you can't see it because everything's pretty much out of frame. Batteries. No. Don't need batteries. Batteries are for the scale, so I can weigh stuff when I need to ship out the things. Alright, cool. There we go. That, along with seashells. Which I do need to paint those eventually. I will get. And let's see. Anything in here? No. Don't need any of those, and we're good. Probably could have put that on the Be Right Back screen, but eh. Also, great, I can't see this. Yay! There we go. I can see again. But I usually try to keep something like this. Because sometimes there are weaves that are a bit more fiddly, that it's like you kind of need something on one end to keep everything straight. Which, it's weaves like the half Persian, which I hate to hell because it takes a bit to start. Which, this is what I'm referring to by the half Persian. It's pretty simple, but when you're getting started, it's very, very torturous. A weave, yeah, there are a bunch of sites available to do that stuff. Let's see. I can grab the one that it's there. Although I think I have a thing in the bot. Yeah, I probably have a thing in the bot, so let me check that out. Commands. Yeah, mailartisans.org. Which I will throw that into the chat. Alright, and there we go. That's the link. That is true. You would not think, well, depending on the shade of purple, that those two would really work well together, but it depends. Especially, I feel like the more deeper and saturated tones of purple would probably work a lot better. Thank you for that follow. I'm gonna probably butcher your name, so I apologize. Totally feel free to tell me how to pronounce your name. Let's see. Saveliana? I am probably incorrect, but thank you. Hopefully you enjoy your time. Also, I realize I've done not a lot in nearly half an hour. Not that I expected to get anything done today. No worries. That is not a problem. Alright, so I think it's on the line tab also. Where's my... There we are. Just gonna open a couple of these. Yeah, that's basically essentially how it works. And these pliers are like, yeah, in comparison to knitting, yeah, basically that's how it is. I honestly would have never thought to compare those two together, but that does make awful sense. And you keep the link suspended on a bar. Not always. Oh, so by a bar, do you mean like the thing that I'm currently holding this with? Which I mostly do that just to keep track of where I am in relation to the start of this thing. Oh, yeah, a wire in this case. You know those general twist ties that you have for, like, say, some bread bags and that sort of thing? I just usually keep those around. Which, I need to stock up on some rings, but I know the Ring Lord, they tend to, like, have everything at the beginning of the year, and then basically until they sell out, I guess. Although that's mainly their specialty colors, if I'm not mistaken. So I'm hopeful that they have some of the colors that I want in the next month or so. I'm good for now. It looks a little freeform. Arguably. Although sometimes you don't have rings of the same size solely in a pattern. Because there are some patterns where it's like you use rings of various size, which that would be this, using the smaller rings in conjunction with these slightly larger rings. They're the same thickness, but the size is what the variation is. In order to create more intricate, interesting patterns. Again, I am not... Ooh, let's not knock things over. I am not highly well-versed. Still kind of a noob, arguably. Also, I wonder, would these two go together? Thanks for... No worries. I don't mind. If I happen to have the answers, I'll explain. And if I don't, obviously we'll try to point you in the direction to be able to have someone else to explain what's what. But outside this, which this is like, what kind of... I think this is champagne, if I'm remembering correctly from their thing. I think this might be champagne. Champagne or beige? One of those two. But I think champagne. So I imagine these two colors would probably go together well. That, or I just mix it with another shade of purple. Potentially. Oops, no. I am not going on hide and seek with tiny rings. Because that is the unfun part of having all the chainmail rings. When you knock them onto the floor and then have to go sort them back. Which, if I had more, that would be like absolute torture to me. Either that or this shade of purple. Maybe. Although, I actually have a different shade of purple in one of the smaller things here. I have a really light one, but the really light one, I have a limited supply of them, so I'm trying to avoid using them. Also, I knocked this thing over. It was still closed, though, so it's basically a small conjunction of rings that are kind of slapdashed about the place here, which is fun. Ugh. Come on. Which I'm gonna have to fully fix that and crap. No. That was the last thing I wanted. You stay on your side of the divide, and then I will put this back down so I can avoid a complete and utter mixing issue. But yeah, I was thinking of the, wait, no, wrong one. Really dark purple ones, although this is more of a blue tone, and this is more a red undertone, so I feel like they tend to not mix well, so I might just go with this. A nice bit of a neutral. But yeah, I'm gonna have to pick at these and sort these back to where they belong. Although that should not take me terribly long. Alright, cool. Let's put that back. Although, I could arguably use this and transition with these two, which these are slightly lighter in comparison. This is like a charcoal. Like, really deep. Alright, so I flip these over and then put these in the middle there. There. And then let's slink this through. One of the things that is always kind of annoying, at least for me when it comes to streaming, this is because, given, you know, these are shiny, whenever it's really, really bright, it makes it very much annoying. The light's reflecting off the rings and thus onto the camera, and it's like, but why? You kind of need light to see the things and to do the things on camera, but at the same time, it's making visibility very much an annoyance. Alright. 2 and 3. Which, with these size rings, I prefer having 3 in the middle because 2, it feels a little bit too floppy for my liking. Although, is that? Oh, okay, I was like, did I put the right color there? Yes, I did. Cool. Alright, let's open yours up. Streaming state is going to make it very weird given the whole I stream tomorrow and Saturday, although I was honestly thinking about canceling this Saturday. I might not. More than likely, I just might end up streaming anyway, because I'm so used to streaming on Saturdays, even though that was supposed to be one of those, hey, this is an optional day. But it just somehow turned into, hey, this is just part of my schedule now. And it's like, I thought you were not supposed to make things difficult for yourself. Although 4 times a week is better than, you know, than every single day of the week. I don't know how people do it, though. Streaming every single day of the week. It's just crazy to me. But if you can do it, it is certainly a good thing. Alright, and then... Also, I think I might adjust things a little bit just so you guys can see this just a wee bit better. Come on. Come on. Let's get this other one here. Nope. Okay. I was worried I'd bent it too much. Okay. Give me a second. I'm gonna turn on studio mode and hopefully that'll allow me to readjust without bothering you guys too much. Although, yeah, it's still doing the thing on that one when I turn on studio mode. So that's interesting. I guess that does not do me terribly much. Alright, cool. And then move in a little bit. And where's the craft cam? No, not frame. Configure video. Maybe sharpen it just a wee bit more. Okay. Guys, hopefully you can see at least a little bit what I'm doing just a wee bit better, which I don't have autofocus on. I forgot what the word was for a second, which seems to be a running theme for me today. But I tend to not have autofocus on because autofocus makes things very annoying most of the time rather than actually help, so I try to avoid using it when I can and then just manually adjust when need be. Also, I almost forgot to... Nope. There is one, it's just not connected to there. Come on, man. You know better than that. Alright. So I need to open this one again. So I can get it to connect to the other ring here. Which... sometimes on the occasions, if I close it well enough, it makes it very hard to find where the opening is. Unless, like, I tilt it a certain way, which... that's good in the sense of, hey, I managed to close this thing really well. But also annoying in the sense of, I would really love to be able to find it. There is only so much room. For this little thing to be. Oops. Uh-oh. Yeah. I'm pretty sure that one's broken. Because I twisted it and I just felt it give, which that is a thing you find out when you're doing these, where it's just like if you twist it and it's just like all of a sudden all the tension has come out of there, that usually means it's broken. Which, thankfully, anodized aluminum rings are very, very cheap. So it is not the worst thing in the world if I break one. Although it's very annoying when you're trying to do a thing and then it's like, well, that happened. Although when you're first trying to like get these to open, like if you're doing this for the first time, it's very difficult, and then once you move up into the more sturdier stuff, it makes it feel like anodized aluminum is essentially nothing. Alright. So, given this is going to be for my wrist, what I'm shooting for is about 7 inches, although, given I have... No, please go. No. Please, I am busy. Younger brother. Alright, so here's here. So you can see first link, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 more of these. And let's not lose that. I have not had a chance to do any substantially new weaves in a little while. But I'll hopefully, maybe sometime next year, eventually get back into that, just because I really do want to play around with some things some more. Cause it's kind of like trying to solve a puzzle when you're trying to, like, learn a new weave. Because, like, you kind of see how the things go, and then it's just like, how do I get the thing to do that thing? And then it's just like, oh, okay. And then it just kind of clicks into place, which, that is not an intentional pun. I just realized as soon as I said that, I was like, that sounds like a pun. It was not meant to be. Although, I wonder if I can... Do I want to add another color to this? I wonder. For now, I'll leave it alone. Also, it's probably best if I just open a couple of these so I can keep things moving right along. Yeah, a little bit more. Yeah, that's better. Also, I realized during all this blabbing, I did not mention, Liz is the one that actually gave me, this sort of original thing with pretty much most of these colors. I think, yeah. Most of these colors that are hanging out in here. In this bin, which I honestly do want to eventually get a second bin so I can stop having to use, the smaller ones. Although, for the tiny rings, it's honestly probably a good idea to have a smaller one like this. And by Liz, I mean Freckled Cyberworks, who is hanging out here. Although I'm not calling you out if you are lurking. The pliers, which these are, Zeron's with the little flat thing. I got these a couple months ago now. I don't know what time is, so I think it's been a couple months or so. Because one, these are actually a wee bit more comfy, but also, you know, come on. And I just lost my train of thought. That's great. I hate when I do that, especially when I stream and it's just like, da-da, and thought gone. Like, I kind of needed that. There we go. Dun, 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 dun. There. And oh, so this kind of reminds me, I've seen ones where it's like two colors on each, where it's like one color on one side and then it's just like another color in the middle on the other side, which, I'm wondering if I could do that instead. Because I've been meaning to try that at some point. Because I always like a really cool variation like that. Yeah, I could probably save that for another time. Especially if I'm probably just gonna maybe take this apart or something. Which, that reminds me, I'm probably gonna need more of these at some point. No, come on. Okay, why are you not? Oh, there it is. Yeah. Oh, so that reminds me. Speaking of chainmail stuff, I have some cubes, which, where's the thing? Did I? Oh, I made sure to put it next to my foot so I'd reach it easier. That's smart. These cubes, which I really do love these. This is one has been just hanging around after I've made it. I have no clue what the heck I'm gonna do with it. It's just been sitting here. Which, this, again, is another pretty arguably basic pattern. Which, this is called a Japanese 8x2. The main bit where it's basically you're putting 2 rings into each one of these and then basically essentially stacking layer upon layer to get the cube, which you can get bigger cubes than this, but I don't think I want to do those, personally. Which, for size reference, do I have 20? I have a 20-sided die, but that's all the way over there, unfortunately. We have this, say, one of these faces, one of these sides here is about, say, the size of a nickel? About a nickel. Also, this is actually a little deeper of an orange. Just the camera has a hard time picking it up. I would probably have to alter the brightness. Not brightness, white balance. There we go. Why are we not talking in my music, man? I mean, it's not terribly distracting in this instance, but... Who told you it's talking in my lo-fi? That's cool. Oh, so that almost kind of sounds like Snoop Dogg. Somewhat. Where are we? There we go. Let's skip that. Okay. There we go. Just wanted to skip across from that. Nope, wrong one. Wrong one. I'm doing this, but it's also kind of amusing because it's like I don't feel like I need any more chainmail bracelets personally, but it's like, but they're fun to make. Plus, it's fun being able to play with like a whole bunch of colors. Which I don't have all of the colors. The Ring Lord, which is where I get my rings from. I don't have all the colors in this main size here that they provide. There's like a tealish color that I do eventually want to play around with, and then there's a seafoam green. But the thing is, teal, at least on my phone, is very annoying to get on camera accurately. Like, you would need something white in the background in order to get it to accurately depict the color. Which is very much frustrating, and also a thing I discovered while I was trying to take pictures of dish towels yesterday and the day before. Actually, no, not yesterday. Monday and Tuesday. You see, I'm thinking today's Wednesday when it's not. But yes. Been taking a whole bunch of inventory pictures and stuff. Which I still need to edit some of them, but I was tinkering around with E-Rank, which Girl November told me about. That kind of like, you know, highlights things with your listings, like say the tags, which tags are a pain because tags are essentially the whole SEO thing, which they do encourage you to have tags that are like multiple words and like not have too many repeating ones, if any, if you can help it. But sometimes there's like a limited amount of things to be said about items in descriptive terms, so it's just one of those. It feels like it makes it necessary to crack out your thesaurus in order to be like, how many ways can I say this? And given they kind of like it when you use all 13 tags, makes it a bit more difficult to not be able to repeat things. No. Oh, okay. I thought I was gonna bounce off the table, because that is a thing that happens sometimes. Also, I'm calling this a table like it actually is. Which, this is honestly just a makeshift table that I use for streaming purposes, and that is all. Although, probably might use it for YouTube stuff once I get back to that, which I do want to see about if I can do like a short thing for this month, although this month is almost over in 1 week. Is it 1 week? Yeah, 1 week from today. So I doubt I'll be able to get anything of real substance out, so I might wait till next month for that. Which I didn't realize it was been about 10 months since I had done anything in regards to YouTube, but given the whole laptop debacle and then, you know, and I'm not even referring into the whole thing with this one, I mean the previous one before I bought this one, which led me to like losing 3 months without one because I didn't realize I had fried the motherboard like it was KFC. So that was a fun time. Which at that point I had to learn the art of mobile streaming, which is certainly interesting, but at times can also be annoying. Because of certain limitations, like I can't fix issues in the video, like say if there's discoloration, that's stuff that can't be altered. At least not via Twitch or through the Streamlabs one, although the Streamlabs one, their mobile app, at least for me, did not work out very well, which was a shame. Plus, I think having stuff on the screen, like, kind of took a chunk of my bandwidth whenever I was trying to stream using the phone at that point.
Shadia, you were on the receiving end of one of the most talked about uppercuts. What's that
Really?
like?
Are we talking again? Why?
Like it was like a finish him. You know what I'm saying?
Chill hop, what did I tell you about having the talkies in my thing? Although, which thing? I don't have individual songs playing for my bot, I just have, like, a general chunk. So, like, say, the whole airplane mode section, I have that playing, basically, and then there's a whole bunch of different ones. There's, what, campfire one? Because it's easier for me to do it that way, so I don't have to add, like, every single one individually. Alright, so this is what we have so far, which is not terribly much. Well, actually, in comparison to how much I need to finish this whole thing for about my length of a wrist here. Which I will add a lobster class, which this is what I'm talking about when I say lobster class here. For anybody who's unfamiliar, one of these.
Behavior is absolutely unacceptable. RTA apologizes to our customers for this incident.
But yeah, there's 3 out of how many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So actually 30% of the way there, which is pretty good given I've been blabbing and chatting. Which, speaking of, I'm gonna actually take my first break, because I try to take a break every hour, even though it is a 3-hour stream, but if I don't stretch and do stuff, my neck and my back, because I tend to hunch over my work at times, gets very cranky, and it does not appreciate me doing the things. So, I'm gonna go do that. Also, I should probably toss this broken one. Where's the other bit? There you go. I just saw it, unless it went under the mouse. No? There it is. There we go. Toss that broken one, get up and stretch. Also, refill my water bottle because it did not have terribly much water in there and I forgot to do so. So I will be back again in about 10 minutes. That's the usual length of time I typically take to take a break. And let me go over to this Be Right Back screen, which... So... Excuse me. General plan is basically I'm just going to do this for like, say, another 10 or 20 minutes, and then I'm going to probably switch to spinning fiber on my wee little electric wheel for the rest of the stream today. Says A, I want to give my hands a break. B, I really do want to spend some Floof on stream today. I was going to save that for tomorrow, and then I was like, you know what? Nah, I can do what I want. It's my stream. But yeah, back again. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the break. And what do you want, Amazon? Why are you bothering me about emails right now? This is exactly why I kind of want to, you know, get rid of that thing. Which, does anybody else, like, not want the whole mail thing connected? So you don't get pop-ups of your emails on the Windows interface? And like, if I want to check my email, I can check my phone or just log in. I don't need it doing that for me. And like, thanks, this is not help I required in any way, shape, or form. Also, I'm gonna move my camera arm a little bit lower down because I realize I am quite out of frame, which is very much unhelpful for if people actually want to see me do stuff. It's to a degree other than the hanging out and socializing portion. Kind of the point of streaming. Well, one of the points, rather. Which, speaking of points, because I am all of these segues, apparently, we do have channel points, although I imagine if Twitch probably shot a little thing telling you about them, but we do have Twitch channel points. Plus, I do have the regular points in the bot, which I will be resetting that at the end of this month. That's the plan. I was originally supposed to reset it at the start of this month, like right after the affiliate anniversary thing, but I was just like, you know what? Nah. I can probably just leave it for the rest of this month. So if anybody has any stream points that they want to use, totally feel free to do so by the end of this month here. Which I really do wish the whole having the website you can like send people to thing was not a premium affair when it came to Streamlabs. It's kind of annoying. Stream Elements has it for free, but you know, Stream Elements can sometimes have its issues too. That's why I haven't switched over the points over to there. Although I might just do that for this next time. I'm not sure. But it's just one of those things that kind of annoys me, because I know sometimes people have a difficult time finding where to do the things for the points. So, like, being able to have, like, a website or a link to throw into chat so people can do it that way, too, would be a great option to have, but That's not, well, it is possible. You just have to throw a bit of money at Streamlabs, and I will not be doing that. I'm not saying I'm against, like, throwing money for, like, upgrades if necessary, but given another platform is doing the same thing without having to, you know, pay for it, I feel like it is not a necessary upgrade to have. Given there are alternative options for that. Also, if anybody wants to check out any of my socials and such, come on. There we go. You can do exclamation point. Is it? No, not socials. Exclamation point. Damn it. I saw the thing in there. Follow. Yeah, exclamation point follow, I think. I usually know my own links, I swear. But it's just I forgot I had that one in there. For some reason. Don't know why, but I forgot. Come on. Thank you. I'd like you to close and stay closed, please. Also, I've come to the realization my brain is quite the repository for theme songs, especially my childhood theme songs from, like, you know, kids shows and stuff. I'm like, I don't think I'll remember this, and then it's just like, nope, I remember every word. I remember every goddamn word of this thing. Which, in this case, I am referring to... what's its face? The Big Comfy Couch, which I was watching a YouTube thing on the history of the show, like how it came to be and all that stuff, which it had brought up a thing where I was just like, what? What? Not that anyone did anything wrong or anything of that ilk, but it was one of those, that is not a thing I've ever heard till now. Okay. Not sure what to do with that information. Cool. Which I've only seen about 2 Defunct Land videos, which the first one was the Puzzle Place, which again, children's show from like the 90s, late 90s, which it feels kind of familiar, although I think it might in fact in part be because of the whole there are some people that were gonna be from other shows, like I think like one of them eventually played Bear in the Big Blue House. And some of them are from Sesame Street, which is not a surprise. Because you know it's Sesame Street, like Rosita. Like, the woman who did Rosita is just like there, and I'm just like, yep, that's her voice. That is her voice. I can tell you that straight. But yeah, I am pretty sure I must have seen that at some point, because it is too familiar for me not to have seen that show. Alright, we got one more of these. Make sure this guy is closed. But yeah, big comfy couch. That was like a nostalgia punch to the face, because I was just like, they started playing the theme song, I'm just like, oh god, I know this. And now it's gonna be stuck in my head, which it has been. And I'm just like, you did this to yourself. But, kind of worth it. Also, the thing I was talking about, the surprise thing, apparently the original woman who played in Lunette, which she was, 16, 17 at this point, because, you know, yeah, she was about 16 when she got started. Like, right, I don't know if it's right before, but before season 2 got started, apparently she and her friend, like, goofing off and whatever, and accidentally caught her hair on fire, which I was just like, what? What? But to buy? And basically she had to wear a wig for season 2, because, you know, she had to cut her hair short. She was fine, no injuries or whatever, just she had to cut her hair short. So there was a wig for that second season, and it was just like, well, file this under things I would have never known. Which apparently there was like a 7th season which had a different actress, which, given the woman playing Lunette at that time.
No, they're not.
Why? Crap, what was I just saying? Yeah, the original actress was basically, she was having a kid. Well, actually, no, she was raising her kid. She came back for season 6, though, when she was like 6 months pregnant, and I'm just like, ma'am, you are 6 months pregnant. What are you doing? Which, I do hope that she wasn't, like, pressured into doing it or some shit like that. It didn't seem to be the case, and that she just wanted to do it, which, if that's the case, cool, fine, but it's just one of those. Shooting a show seems like a lot to be doing, and you're potentially going to be having a small human. But what do I know? Alright, did I open enough of these? Okay, I think this might be the last one of these I do, which this would actually put me halfway to getting done with the amount of these I would need to do. For the length I would need to get around my wrist, which is pretty much 7 inches, so I'm like about average wrist sized, which helps. Which, even though I have these lobster clasps, I do want to get those hook-looking one, because I know not everyone can deal with, you know, the lobster clasps and that sort of thing. Alright, let's get this on here. Also, yes, I have very weird viewing habits. Well, not weird. Atypical. Yeah, atypical would probably be the better term to use. Although, honestly, given the whole likes crime shows and stuff, This is not exactly a shock. Although, I have not been watching as many crime shows lately. It's been more so me chilling and watching Food Network, which is a lot less stressful. I mean, minus the competition part. But honestly, if you need a good chill time, honestly, just watch Guys. I was about to say Guys Grocery Games. Yeah, Guys Grocery Games works too, but there's Divers, Drive-Ins, and Dives, where basically he's like touring across America, essentially, to all the places and discussing what various interesting restaurants or locale places that are around that you never would have really noticed otherwise. Okay. Alright, and there we go. Alright, that puts us about halfway there. And I do like this so far, although, honestly, I'm not sure if I'll keep it this way, just because I feel like the middle would be more suited to have a lighter color, given how dark the electric violet is. Although it's still a neutral and it makes the purple more noticeable, so who knows. I might just leave it this color. But I am gonna switch gears, and also let's find the thing I had these in. I'm trying not to mess around with where I have my rings. No. Why? There we go. Let's see. Yeah, I'll still need to pick. Actually, I could do that while I'm sitting here. It shouldn't take me that long. It's not terribly much that's really scrambled in here, thankfully. Which, that's the problem I have with these, just because, you know, you can have these be somewhat adjustable by taking up the dividers in here, but at the same time, that means they kind of have a terrible time staying down, which can be obnoxious. If you're just trying to adjust something. Alright, and it's this one. Oh, had a brown one in there. It must have really shifted weirdly. This pink and there. Okay, it doesn't seem like anything got into the brown that's here. Alright, so we're all good. Awesome. Alright, wait, is that? No. I thought that was a green for a second. Nope, but that is a purple, I see. Yep, that is a purple. Okay, now we're done. Alright, so I'm just gonna put these over here. Put the rest of this electric purple back where it belongs. Probably gonna throw the Be Right Back screen on just for a second. Hi, plane. please go away. Your back screen on for a second so I can switch over everything to spinning. So probably will leave the mic on. Alright, it should be alright, but let's see how it looks once I get over here. I wanted to make sure that it looks reasonable enough. Because there's none of the seriously bright colors currently on this area. But hopefully should be able to show those stupid bright colors once we get to them. Which this does have a bit of a really bright pink, which actually... Okay, that shows well enough. Cool. Also, I should probably change my stream title to reflect this, even though I had this in the tags. Braid, flip spinning. Oh, come on. Really? Alright, cool. There we go. Let's make sure that's all good, and also that I can actually see OBS. Yay. Also, this means I'm going to proceed to get myself covered in Tencel and Angelina. This stuff is pretty sparkly. But that is not a terrible thing. Which, for anybody wondering what I am spinning on, this is the electric eel wheel Nano. Specifically, this is the 1.0 version. The 1.1 version, which is currently available in the Dreaming Robots website, which, actually, that reminds me, I should probably make a wheel command. I should probably make a wheel command. Yeah, let me do that right this second, before I forget, again, because I keep forgetting that that's a thing I should be doing. Let's see. Nope. Don't want to do that command. Wheel. Wheels. Nope, not 7. There is no 7.0 at the moment, so that would be redundant and not make any sense. Also, I very much don't want that to be in all caps, please, and thank you, computer. This should hopefully not take me terribly long. Because I realize I usually talk about it enough that it's like, it probably would make sense for me to actually have, you know, a link. Alright, so let me just grab the link and then I'll save this thing and then we'll get back to the things and the stuff. Boop doop a doo. Dreaming robots. Yeah, I could probably just... Nope. Not the correct window. There we go. Alright, so that's now a thing, hopefully with no misspellings going on. And let's go here. Cool. Let me just double check that that works, and also I didn't do the thing. Weirdly. Really? Oh. Okay, it's not... What? How is it not... The hell? There we go. I just made the thing. How is it automatically off? That was weird. Which, that's the product link for the 6, which is much larger. There's no color choice. However, A, it goes faster than this. B, certainly holds a lot more fiber if you're looking for that sort of thing. Which, this is a pretty good wheel, A, if you're starting out. B, if you're just looking for something to travel with. Although, arguably, you also could travel with the 6, but again, the 6 is bigger than this wheel. I do enjoy them both, though. Which, I'm currently spinning the fiber on this, and have spun fiber on other 3 currently full bobbins in order to do a 4-ply. Although if I had, weighed the yarn on the bobbin, I'd probably be able to do that. Not weigh the yarn, bobbin. If I'd weighed the yarn and split it on the larger wheel, I'd probably be able to do that on the larger one instead. Which I might do that next time around, I don't know. It was just one of those things I didn't really think about. Plus, given this wheel holds about 2 ounces each bobbin, I figured that would probably be a lot easier. Indeed. Hi again. Also, I keep having to adjust to the fact that you are 3 hours behind me. Because every time I'm just like, it's the afternoon. It's like, no, she is 3 hours behind you now. Because I'm so used to you being in the same time zone. Although, given when I first knew you, you are 5 hours ahead of me. So it's just like, this should not be that difficult. I'm so... Yeah, it's weird to change time zones, as you know. Definitely more so permanently than it is, like, in a temporary basis. For, like, vacation or something. Alright. Oh, I should have moved the hook beforehand. Oh well. It's fine. I'm gonna stuff this bobbin full of yarn anyway. So who cares?
What did that feel like?
I was on Mortal Kombat. It just hurted. Like it was like a finishing. You know what I'm saying?
Although I imagine having to adjust, it's well worth it given, you know, you finally have space again. To do all the things and stuff like you want to. Also, I do hope you eventually get to buy the place, if you're lucky. Down the line. Because it does look like a really good place. Although, you know, random U-turn stairs would be my only real gripe. But that's only when you're hauling things in and out that would be an issue, really. Oops, uh-oh. Nope. I nearly almost broke this goddamn fiber.
Duty. His behavior is absolutely unacceptable. RTA apologizes to our customers for this incident. But who is not apologizing? There's two people involved in this. What can you say about your roles to him?
You know, see, that's why I'm talking away. I don't really.
Oh, so I realized I didn't really explain what the heck I'm even spinning. This is a mixed bag of a variety of different kinds of fibers, which I have experience with, like, only a couple of these that are in here. There's Corriedale, there's... what is it? Yeah, Leicester. Which, honestly, I feel like that's about it in the entirety of the Batt. Which there's Angelina, there's Tencel, there's... which I have a braid that has some, like, Tencel and other stuff in there. I do want to eventually get into. Isn't that bad? Just has to work around the hottest part of the day. Morning. Okay. Yeah, because I know for, you know, where you are. October. Okay, so you got there certainly at a good time then. So you're like at the tail end of it being stupid hot then. Which is always a good time to be there. Yeah, let's make that a wee bit faster. Also, it is kind of, if not mostly, stopped making the sound. I'm not sure why it likes me all of a sudden now, but I am not going to complain. Don't you fucking dare jinx me, Wheel. But yes, variety Batt of very bright and interesting colors, which this is usually not in my wheelhouse color-wise, but I had won this TDF. Is it still last year? Yeah, last year. I'm like, do I have the right year? Yes, I do. Okay, cool. I cannot tell the goddamn year apart because last year was essentially a black hole of misery. But anyhow, I had this sitting around for like a year, so I'm like, I should probably play around with this at some point. So basically filling each bobbin and then gonna do a 4-ply, because I have not done a 4-ply before. I tend to stick to a chain ply. That tends to be what I do when it comes to spinning, so I figured try something new. It just... Basically, it's like we hit to the Twilight Zone, essentially. Insanity. I never want to do that again, and that was terrifying. Okay, that is abysmally thin. I really need... This is like the second or third time I think I've done that with this bobbin. Like, draft ridiculously thin. Like, thinner than my usual thin. And it's kind of driving me nuts. Might need to move this hook soon, maybe. Alright. I'm probably gonna get through at least this amount in my hand. Probably gonna need to grab another piece. Guy lurks up. No worries! Enjoy your lurk. I'm probably gonna take my second break in like 10-15 minutes anyway. Love that. Thank you. We have not gotten to the entirety of the stupid bright. But this is gonna be hella interesting yarn. I'll tell you that much. I'm slightly annoyed at myself for having that bit of a divot going on this, but again, I'm gonna stuff the bobbin, so that's not even gonna exist by the time I'm done. So I don't know why I'm complaining about it. Well, actually I do. Tiny bit of perfectionist, aren't I? That's more than likely why. Although, arguably, if you have a more even bobbin, you tend to be able to fit more yarn on there. Come on. There we go. Come on, don't do that. So, the milkshake... Which, this is just an art thing I'm referring to. Digital art thing. I'm hoping to get that done and potentially uploaded to Redbubble. Maybe end of this week, maybe. Because I was literally spending yesterday doing some cleaning up in some spots here and there, which it could use a little bit more, so probably might try and do some of that tomorrow, maybe. So if not this week, hopefully start of next week, which should be regular schedule. Alright, I think it's about time I move this hook again. Which, I have an idea of what I want to do with this thing that I am curious to see how it turns out. I'm gonna probably have it be a surprise, so we'll probably not go into further detail than that for the current moment on that one. Also, other than that, the wallpaper, which I don't think I'll be able to, like, get it to the quality that I would want it to be done in the next week, so I might bump that over to October as well. Not as well, but bump it over October wallpaper rather than September. So I literally spent yesterday post doing the milkshake thing, essentially drawing and redrawing hands for like an hour because there was a whole thing I was trying to adjust it so the hands and the thing being held in the hand looked like it was at a proper angle, and then basically I was adjusting the thing and keep redrawing, and I'm just like, I don't know how I didn't lose my temper somehow, because it was very frustrating. I think I redrew it like 4 or 5 times. And I was like, after that last time, I was like, nope. This is what we're going with. Fuck it. Not doing that again. Which, watch the next time I open it, I'm just like, I don't like how this looks, I'll just do it again. Which I honestly should have just, like, left it alone and come back. Because that is usually a good thing to do. So you don't overpick at a thing. Because that is a thing that happens. Although, arguably, I'm, like, overcritical of my things to begin with, so not exactly the most shocking development of all time. Of all time, if I picked at a thing too much. Yeah, this is a little bit thin. I'm, like, drafting a wee bit too thin. Oh, why are you over there? You're supposed to be back there. I'm already starting to feel bits of fiber. Like, I feel like a speck of it may have just gotten into my eye. That's great. Although at least it's not making me sneeze, so there Or at least some positives to that. Come on. I do wish, though, I'd be able to get this by feel at some point. There are some people who usually draft by, like, feel, and it's like, I have not gotten to that point yet. But I really would love to be able to do so. But even without that, I really do enjoy doing spinning, because it's a nice activity. You don't really have to think terribly much about anything. All you have to do is really just make sure you don't draft too thin or too thickly to help keep consistency, and then just go from there. Oh look, it's sunny again. For like right now anyway. Which I really do wish I had better positioning for a window, because that would make things a lot better when it comes to lighting. Lighting is always one of those things I have to be like, is this lighting garbage or not? I mean, there are some days where it's like, everything turns out perfect and it's like, yay, best lighting ever. And other days it's just like, why do I even fucking bother? Is essentially how I feel in general. Okay. A little bit more and then it will be time to move the hook. Although it is actually about break time, so let me do a wee bit more and then I will go take my second break for today. You know, stretching is important and all that. Almost there, and then... Yeah. I'm just gonna pause right here or else I'll just keep spinning forever. Which, you can see this is how much I have currently left in my hand. There's a lot more floof left, so we are nowhere near done. So, I'm gonna go, as I wait for the siren to get the fuck out of here, go take my second break here. Just gonna get up and stretch and so forth. Definitely, if you've been sitting around doing the crafty stuff and things, definitely feel free to get up and stretch or grab some water or coffee or whatever the case may be. And I will see you guys in the next 10 minutes. Be right back. Feel free to play the games on the Be Right Back screen. Alright, lighting seems to be alright, so let's get on with this. Hopefully it stays that way for the rest of today. Which will be very much great. Nah. Might want to turn the game down a little bit, but it's gonna, you know, lighting's gonna fluctuate a little bit, so the only reason why I have not fiddled with it. Also, yeah, that's the stuff that's slightly annoying to draft. I'll pre-draft, rather. So let me deal with that a little bit. There are one or two things that in here that are slightly harder to get spun, although arguably this is nothing compared to the locks of wool from the Leicester sheep that are in here. Not in the specific piece, but in one of the previous bobbins I had a bit of that, and it was just like I had to pre-draft quite a bit to get it to do what I wanted. Because it was stubborn, let me tell you. Fucking stubborn. It does eventually work, but yeah. Given, I think that in part is because I haven't spun... Yeah, I personally haven't spun like full-on locks of sheep wool before. Because I've seen that sort of thing on the... online, where it's like, you know, sometimes they're dyed and stuff, but it's like... I'm definitely more used to the fully processed stuff. So it's certainly interesting. Welcome back! Oh, dice tray. Ooh. What's it made out of? Also, are there pictures? I will be happy to stare at them in the Discord. Oh. Oh, so I should probably slow this down just a wee bit. Because this is going a little bit too fast. And cardstock. Whatever works. How big is it? Yeah, I'm actually, once I'm done plying with these, well, spinning the singles for these, I'm gonna use the big wheel to spin that. Which I might just use the larger wheel for the next bits. Also, I presume you posted, yep, you has a picture. Ah! I was wondering if you painted it. That looks pretty. I like that. It's just that I've been taking so long to spin these singles. Just why that's why you guys see this so more often. Plus, I do have some braids of fiber that I am gonna need to pretty much rely on the speed from the 6 to get spun up. So I have at least 2 of them that have some silk in there. Yeah, 2 of them that have some silk. Although, arguably, I could spin it here, too. Because given the, slightly more speedy 1.1 motor, I could arguably spin it on this now, but I'd still rather use the 6 for that. Which I still have quite a bit of floof to spin, so more than likely, out of this Batt, I'll probably have to use my scale to separate, like, how much is going to be on each. And go from there. Oh, so that reminds me, have you spun anything lately? If you've had time to. Okay, that's what I thought. But I wasn't sure. We changed the rooms. They're supposed to have more room in here, but the other room is built. Ah, okay. Yeah, I remember you were changing the rooms. That part I do remember. Ah, okay. Well, hopefully the spinning stuff does get in there soon enough. Once you have the opportunity to do so. Shannon! Hello. I figured you would pop in here. Because I saw you and Jane's conversation in the Discord, and I was just like... she might pop her head in here. Also, this is ridiculously thin. Like, this is string thin. I don't know why I'm spinning this thinly. Also, just a reminder from the bot, I will be resetting the currency by the end of this month, so if you have Floof currency... Ah, okay. Yay, fridge! And I hope that fridge was above and beyond worth every penny. Because That was one expensive fridge. Also, I'm hoping that you managed to send the old fridge out with them. I know sometimes when you're, like, getting new appliances, you could send away the old ones. Not nearly as expensive as so many other options could be here before. Fair. Fair. But still, that thing... When you set the price the other day, I was just like, ow. It's now like, okay. It still works, just not effective for... Okay. That makes sense. But yeah, that other fridge is not allowed to die for another decade. I feel like. At the minimum. That's better. Otherwise, when I turn this thing back on, I tend to make it go a little bit too fast. Which is not helpful. Also, I'm gonna probably need to change this hook soon enough. Come on. There we go. Yeah, this is definitely the more finicky stuff that I've gotten into. At least in this part of the strip here. That'd probably take me a little bit, given how extensively stubborn this stuff is. Which I have not come up onto the stuff in this Batt in a while, so I think the fact that this is the second Batt.
Talked about uppercuts. What did that feel like? I was on border combat. It just hurted. Like it was like a finishing. You know what I'm saying?
Also, I imagine having an office fridge is certainly more convenient for you. So, say if you want, you know, cold drink or something, you would be able to get it right there instead of having to go off to the kitchen or something. $4 ago. Hey, fridges in the classroom? I figured, no, teacher's lounge, they would have a fridge. But I never saw a fridge in a classroom.
Identifying the driver, he was immediately suspended and removed from duty. His behavior is absolutely unacceptable. RTA apologizes to our customers for this incident. Who is not
My district doesn't care. Huh, okay.
There's two people involved.
That makes sense.
What can you say about your role? Did you hit him? No, see, that's why I want to talk to him. Like, I really want to. I can't answer that.
Plus, I imagine now that, you know, it'd be restricted to teacher-only use or something. To avoid having, you know, kids trying to put their stuff in there. That or, say, stuff that would be required for, like, say, an emergency. Because there's usually some medications, like, what, insulin, you usually have to have it refrigerated? Also. Fiber got up my nose. Ah. Alright. Okay, that's what I thought. Well, actually, I should know, given the whole thing with my dad, and that's hanging out in the fridge. But usually medications like that require you to have it pretty much refrigerated the entire time. Or else it's no good. Might need to move this hook soon, by the looks of it. Even though I have an overhead view, it's sometimes still kind of difficult to tell, at least for me, whether or not the hook really needs moving or it's just, you know, a trick of how it looks. Based on the angle. Yep. Let's not punch it. Yeah. So, quite close to the back here. So, probably gonna get back at least somewhat close to this section, I imagine, by the time I'm done. I don't think I'll be doing overtime today. Come on. There we go. That's a little bit thin, but it should be fine, hopefully. Oh, so we're getting close to the end of this piece, so I'm probably gonna need to grab another one. Which, that is perfectly fine by me. Which I honestly cannot wait to be done and be able to start playing. I really am curious to see what the yarn's gonna look like once it's plied together. Come on. Yeah, this gray stuff here has a hard time wanting to draft, and it's kind of irritating. Alright, before I get to the end of this thing, let me quickly just grab another piece of this here, and go from there.
You are a function of this total galaxy. The real deep down you is the whole universe. And it's doing
There. Crafty Brew, hello, hello. How goes? How is your Thursday? I keep having to remind myself it's Thursday. Hope all is good. Here spinning some Floof. Did some Chainmail before that. Which you could probably check out the VOD. But yeah, spinning very bright and sparkly Floof currently. needle felting here. Yeah, this stuff is extra sparkly. Somewhat hard to, okay, yeah, pick up on camera, but yeah, bright and sparkly and very much a lot. Which this is the 4th bobbin, which once this bobbin is full, I will fix what I need to fix on bobbin number 3, although I could just do that after stream today, arguably. And take a break from all the SEO stuff a wee bit. I love we're all saying that when I grew up, and it's like, where is it? I presume it's in Rogue's channel? Okay, Girl November's channel. Alright, cool. Ba-ba-da-ba-da. Let me go over there. All other photos, probably. Let's scroll down here. Nope. Where is it? It's in... Well, new... Oh, house talk. Okay. Whoops. That would make more sense, too. There it is. Nice. Ooh, stainless steel, too. Frigidaire? What's the Discord again? I was gonna post it. Okay. Oh, thank you, Jane. Which, to note, anybody who wants to join the Discord, feel free to ask me or one of my lovely mods who are here to be hanging out. For the link, because I do not keep a live link here, because trolls are stupid. Which, by the way, for anybody newly joining, you have to wait about 10 minutes before you can say anything. And then after that, you can chat to your heart's desire in one of the various channels that we have hanging out here. And make sure to have your sub connected to your Discord account in case you want wallpapers, because those exist. Currently a total of 3 at the moment. But slowly trying to accumulate more. The freezer on... Yeah, I like the freezer on the bottom too, honestly. That's a much better storage method in my opinion. But that is a nice fridge. I would like to be able to zoom in, but I'll probably do that later. Frozen vegetables. So me just dumping things in there. Okay, yeah, that works. There we go. Come on, I just need you to stick. Thank you. 'Cause I felt it slide a little bit. So it's fridge up top, most expensive birthday present myself ever, but we need a treat yourself gift. Especially for something necessary. Alright. Okay, so this is probably gonna be the last pass I have for back here, because it is pretty much on the it's getting full portion of back there. I should have moved my hook a little bit earlier, but whatever. Is that a Frigidaire or a Kenmore? Or a Maytag? Exactly. LG. Okay, yeah. I forget they make fridges. I always think that they're just the phones, and it's like, no. I mean, heck, Mitsubishi. There we go. Did plane engines during what, World War II? Fridges are, yeah, no, they are not cheap. Appliances, period, are not cheap. Like, it's absolutely obscene what they want for a fridge sometimes, and it's just like, I'm sorry, who? Who do you think is buying this fridge again? It was actually, oh, happy birthday! Okay, gift bot's open, and I should have it here. Nope. I don't think I see it here. Oh, wow. You guys are really close. All the happy birthdays. And let me add the thing here. No, I don't have gift bot here. Nope. I keep forgetting to add it back in there because I'm a dumbass. Oh well. Okay. Jazzy! Hello. How you doing? How goes your Thursday? Usually I'm not here today. But given I had to skip yesterday, I was like, let me just hop on here and do a stream today. I am currently spinning fiber on very tiny electric wheel. Thank you. Dude, my hair was a mess. I was like, let's just deal with that yesterday while I was at it. Plus, it helps to have a mom here to actually do that. It's trying to do that yourself. Very annoying and awkward angles. Yep, spinning fiber here. Specifically, this is from a Batt, which I would show you the Batt if I had it anywhere near me, but specifically, this bit of fiber that I have currently in my hand, I'm planning to basically apply this and the other 3 bobbins that I have filled of the same fiber, which the colors are not exactly the same, and basically ply them together, because I have a larger wheel than this one. Spinning fiber is basically... This is specifically a Batt, but basically taking stuff like, say, merino or Corriedale, which those are types of wool, which that's the usual type of fiber that one would spin with, but there are plant-based and synthetics you could spin with as well. And basically turning it and drafting it like so, and allowing the spin of the wheel, although there are also spindles which, hold on, I can actually grab it from here, I think. Yes, I can. Basically spinning it so you can basically ply the yarn, which plying the yarn is basically let's see. You take what you've already spun, and then basically you go like this, which this is only in the case of if you're chain plying, and basically twist it in the opposite direction. And that's basically how you get yarn. You're making, arguably yes, but string is technically different from yarn. But essentially at this point, yeah, kind of string, which will eventually be yarn. Thank you. It's one of the things I like doing a lot. Which I usually do a lot of this for, say, making socks. Socks and that sort of thing. I try. I don't know all the things. But I learn as I go and try to spread the information as much as I humanly possibly can. Which, this is not the sole thing that I've been doing today, but this is what I've been doing for, like, say, the past hour or so. Earlier, I was doing chainmail, which that would be this stuff right here. Different colors, though, but basically this. Which is a bracelet. Which I'm very much a prefer hands-on things. No, not this yarn. This yarn will not be socks. This yarn is not sturdy enough for socks. I mean, even if I plied it, no, would not work for socks. It would probably have to be a cowl. I don't have distinctive plans when it comes to this yarn yet. Because once it's a 4-ply, it's probably gonna be, say, just above sock weight, so I'd say sport weight, yeah. That's my best guess and presumption right now. That could change once it's plied, but yeah, arguably this should probably be about sport weight. Plus it will puff up a little bit more than likely once I do the set the twist business and all that. Thank you, I've had that one for a while. Which, chainmail? Like, I know cats like yarn a lot. I have heard stories, and it's like, please don't run away with the yarn. I kind of need that. But I would love cats one of these days, eventually. But that's one of those I'd rather wait until, you know, financially sound enough to take care of and provide for a said cat, because vet bills are no joke. Like, huh. Yeah, I know not all cats are for the yarn, but that tends to be a notorious traits that cats tend to like to watch the stuff. And possibly abscond with the stuff. Despite that being very ill-advised. Those paper clips. Oh my gosh, the things cats play with sometimes. I forget who, I think it was one of our previous cats, basically liked playing around with the plastic, tab thing. You know, like when you open a bottle and it's like that little tab thing? That, basically, they liked playing around with, and it's like, but... At least I think my story is correct on that one, but... It was definitely some cat that enjoyed playing around with that. Which is... very interesting. Like, of all the things... It depends. I very much like socks when it comes to knitting things. Like, there is a time where it's like, all socks all the time here. I'll be real honest with you. because I wear hand knit socks basically all the time, so that helps. Which also, I have a basket. Of said socks. Chainmail wise, arguably this dragon scale, which this is really fun. Although I'm not 100% satisfied, but just because given the blend of warm and cool tones of purple going on here, I'm like, these could blend a lot better. Well, that's just me being nitpicky. Which I'll be making another one of these for someone once I get a chance to sit down and do stuff. But it's just, I've been busy. But yes, these are hand spun. Oh, let's move that carefully. Which this is BFL, which is short for Blue Face Leicester. Which, that's a type of sheep wool mixed with like 20% nylon. And basically I just did this and knit them stockinette, which these are honestly one of my favorite socks to wear. I love them a lot. Which this was the second time I made socks that I did a hand spun and did a little stripy pattern with. Also, actually these colors I didn't pick in here. These just came in the way they are, although I separated them because I wanted to do a little striping thing. Let's see. I'm gonna end up showing you guys like Sock Madness socks, which I haven't really worn these since Sock Madness, which these I'm kind of annoyed with just because the tweed, I feel like the tweed comes off, like it sheds, and it's kind of annoying. But I do like these socks because beads and everything. Also, these were torturous to knit. I don't know how I did it, but more than likely coffee and spite on my part. That's usually how it goes. That was probably second, if not third time I've ever beaded socks. I don't normally bead socks. Typically it's more color work like this, which these are slightly older socks. I've literally worn a hole in them. Which, this is a pattern in Japanese, arrow socks. But, you know, given I can't read Japanese, I just basically took the charts and essentially just did a different heel than what they prescribed in the pattern, and works out pretty well. I cannot wait till it gets, you know, really cold, or at least cold enough I can wear these regularly again. I love them. I'm gonna get back to spinning, or else it'll be sock time show and tell for a while. Because I have many socks I could show you guys. How many pairs of socks that are hand spun? I think 3, maybe 4 pairs that are hand spun. Which I'm trying to work on my consistency with my hand spun. So, but yeah, that's not all the hand spun. Well, not all the hand knit socks, rather, I have. The basket over here, and then the drawer has the rest of them. Alright. There. Let's draft a little bit more, and then get to spinning for a little bit. I said I wasn't going to do overtime, but I might do a wee bit of overtime, like say 5 to 10 minutes, because I do want to spin a little bit more. Here, no worries. I shall hopefully be here when you get back. Also, if anybody wants to play the drop game, you can totally feel free to do so by doing !drop, because that is a thing I added. I was just like, you know what, since I can't stream, I might as well just do a little thing or two. Which, let's see, it should work. I just want to double check. Yep, it does work. Yay. Oh, okay. Let's make that a little bit. Oh, that is rigged. I managed to win. Oh, God. Yeah. Which, this is the fall version. The bot put a blur of the website where you can get these if you want to add these to your own stream. Well, screen, arguably. Leaf pile. Yep. There are a bunch of different versions. There are some premium versions too. And it's really fun and cute. And I like it a lot. Which, just like the Plinko game on the Be Right Batt screen, it takes about 60 seconds for it to reset. If you want to play again. Which, once it disappears, you can play it again. Yeah, honestly, on updates, other than adding that, pretty much the only real... You really are gonna enjoy playing that. I figured autumn would be the most reasonably themed. You might make it, maybe? Yes! Nicely done. I was like, are you going fast enough? You are indeed going fast enough. Yay! God, these games are so cute. I think one of the premium ones is like a witch's cauldron. I might have to grab the light because it's getting a wee bit dark by the looks of it. Well, I'm not going to be on for terribly longer. Is it still visible to you guys? But yeah, based on my camera right now, it looks a little bit on the dark side. Why you decide to get cloudy now, man? Where is it? Cool. Yay for it actually being somewhat in reach. Yeah, let's go back here. I'm trying to... There we go. Also, let's get that out of the way so I don't break things. Because I'm not buying another shaft for one of these. I did that once. I will not be doing it again. Is this on repeat? Because we've heard this already. No? Okay. Why the heck were you repeating, music? I did not even notice. That is not supposed to be repeating. Yeah, it's not set to repeat. The-hell? That's really strange. Also, I would like to be able to see OBS. But yeah, this is at the point on the wheel, which that's the problem with the Nano sometimes. stuffing the bobbin, it has difficulty getting some uptake after a while. Like, even when there's room on it, it has a issue being able to actually uptake. Although I think I'm not sure if they solved that issue with the 1.1, possibly. Also, I probably just needed to up my tension just a little bit. I hadn't changed my tension in a while. Is this? As wheels go, no. These are actually pretty cheap. Again, as wheels go. Because, let's see. A regular, actual manual wheel where you do the foot pedals, because there's ones that have foot pedals and you can do the thing. The lower end is like 300. Like, they get expensive real quick. One of these comes with 6 bobbins, USB cord, I believe. I'm not sure if it comes with the plug in the wall ones. One of these would be $110 plus tax, not plus tax, plus shipping, which is usually about $8 if you're in the US, which I'm pretty sure you are. I have a larger wheel than this, which is currently out of reach, but you could find it at this link here. Let me just put this here. It's a good thing I made that command. Yeah. So that one is actually close to about what a regular wheel costs. Although I got mine on a Kickstarter, so it's actually like $80 less in comparison. About $80. I could be slightly off on my math, if I am not mistaken. Yeah, that larger one comes with, yes. But given how much I spin, it's not bad. Plus the whole, that was part of the... Oh, what was the thing? But they yeah. This I've had for, say... How long has it been? About 2 years now? This one? The only thing I've had a real problem with is the motor, but this is the 1.0 version. The 1.1 version in the shop has a different motor, which I actually bought that motor and put it in here, so it should not give me issues. Plus, I have not had any problems with the 6 so far. The 6 I got earlier this year, so April. And so far, it's been smooth sailing on that. But yeah, wheels typically usually last for a while. So it's not like you're putting in that whole bunch of money just to have it break on you next week or anything like that. No. I wouldn't buy a wheel if that ever happened. I do not have money to throw around like that. Unless I am sure that the thing will not die on me. Also, speaking of, you don't have to have a wheel to spin. It certainly makes it more convenient and things go a bit faster. But honestly, you could also get a spindle, which... this is a 3D printed spindle that I have. I have 2 of these. One is like a bit larger, it's a little bit heavier. But this is good for regular spinning. This is, what, $15? And you could arguably get some inexpensive fiber from a bunch of places. On Etsy and such places, so basically you can get this for like, say, I say $18, but it's $15 plus, you know, shipping and tax, so $18 plus fiber, depending on what you buy. And depending on how much you get and where you're getting it from. Arguably, like, say, 10 to about 20 to 30. But again, if you get like say a small ounce of a fiber, and it's not, you know, the rare and expensive sort of fiber, like say, you know, cashmere or yak or anything of that sort, then you should be fine price-wise. Which this stuff I got I won, so this is not something that I bought. I think a good chunk of my stash currently is stuff I got gifted. I don't buy fiber terribly often, plus it takes a while to spin it, so... I argue it's worth the time and the money. Plus with my felted bat in Discord, it's been... oh no. But, ooh, felted bat. Felted bat sounds fun. Let's go over here. Because I have the app open on my laptop here. And... oh my god, that is cute! And very stupidly realistic. Holy crap. That is adorable! Are you cool with me sharing pictures in the here? I was about to say in the Discord. It is in the Discord. Here in chat. Which, let me double check that I'm doing it properly. Oh, you name it? I tend to not name my stuffed things. I just realized that was hanging off of your computer screen. Do you have, like, you know, a thing? Like, I'd say... oh, what's the thing I'm thinking of? Pipe cleaner. There we go. Or something of that ilk in the wings, so it's posable? If so, that is very, very cool. Alright, so we're slowly getting here. I know I'm overtime right now, but I am perfectly fine with that. And it's wire, so it's nice! I always like when people do stuff like that. Where it's like, that makes it extra cute. But yeah, Crafty, are you totally fine with me sharing it in the chat here? Because I know not everybody here is in the Discord, so... alright, cool. Copy. Nope. I have to copy the link, not the picture. This is not like it's Discord. I can't do that. That's one. And then... copy link. Come on. And that should be the other. Cool. Yay! There we go. Alright, so we're gonna go on just a wee bit longer. Because again, I am going overtime here, so... I definitely want to at least give myself a little break before I have to go and start tooling around on Etsy, which, by the way, if you want to check out my Etsy and other various links, do ! follow, and you should get a link to my link tree with all the things and stuff. Yeah, it's really, really cute. I have not gotten into needle felting, but I gotta leave soon. Darn working. Thank you! I appreciate that. I am basically like been tinkering around with things to get things to sell, and it's just like it's kind of frustrating because I'm just like, I don't know what I'm doing wrong, and it's just a whole thing. But it's, you know, eventually something will happen, but I think it's more the fact that I sell a bunch of different things is probably it's what's the issue is. Which I do prefer to have variety just because I don't like doing the same thing all the time. I like having, you know, options. It's so, yeah. I mean, the main thing kind of at the moment are the dish towels, which I have a thing where basically it's one for each color. So basically, all 16 of the colors I'm gonna have a listing for, and then basically for, say, one for pears. Yeah, I can't just sit and do one thing. I like to be able, especially if it's something chart intensive, I need to, you know, take a break and do something else and get some time to reset. Come on. Alright. But yeah, we're pretty close to in here. But yeah, I'm probably not going to go back, so basically I'm just going to stuff as much as I possibly can in this pass, and then probably end up filling this bobbin. But more than likely not today on stream. I might spin some more later. Or maybe do some spinning tomorrow. You should... Yeah, I do that every so often, but I usually don't have time. But I've been trying to keep up with the, you know, the Instagram stories and actually do those because I know that helps too. Get some eyes on some things. It helps with, yeah, I have a couple of shells. I have one that is sitting there that I need to get back to. Although I need to figure out where the heck am I in that chart. Because it's been a while. I really should have written it down. But did I? No, I did not. Alright, what is it? It is 4:11. I'll give it a couple more minutes and end at 4:20, which that is not intended. Well, actually, 4:15 rather. I can do that. But that would put it at 3 hours and 20 minutes. About. But I do eventually have to get up and, you know, do the things and the stuff. But I definitely have enjoyed hanging out with you guys today. It has been really, really fun. Still gonna be on for like a few minutes, but I just wanted to thank you guys. Because I know sometimes I forget to, so I try to do so. Alright, move the hook. And have a good... No worries! That's what I thought. I know you said you need to go. But it was great to see you, Crafty. Have a great rest of your Thursday. I wanted to call it Tuesday for a second. I don't normally stream today, so my days of the week are like, what day is this again? Which this also means I'll be on for 3 days straight, so today, tomorrow, and Saturday. Streams will be happening. Which, that's normally why I try to space it out, so it's like I only have 2 days in a row, but unfortunately yesterday was unavoidable, so such is life, I suppose. Alright, and... yeah, come on. There's like a bit of this where it's like slightly more resistant to being spun, so I kind of have to like do this to like draft it out. The majority of the fiber in the Batt strips are pretty non-resistant. But there are chunks where it's just like, we're not gonna do what you want, so I have to really pre-draft a bit to get it to go smoothly. Which I suspect this might be where the Corriedale is, because Corriedale is a little bit on the stiff side. Sometimes. Although again, compared to the actual locks of sheep wool, this is not that bad. I will tell you that right now. Just requires a little bit of work to it. Also, it is about that time, so I am going to do this a little bit right here and stop for now. Which you can see, we're somewhat near where I said we would be about when we'd stop, which I figured as much. I'm gonna check. Oh, that's happening. Okay, so I have stream open where I am planning to go to. Well, one of the places I could go to. Either there or... actually, I enjoy her, but let's see if I can go to elsewhere. Also, let me actually put on face camera. That'd be great. Well, in the face view. There I am. I have a face. Also, I need to turn this off now because we don't need that. Which I still need to get the thing so I can plug this in. Oh, okay. He is talking about chess stuff right now. Which, chess is one of those things where I am very, very ineffectual. But we're gonna go over to Mr. Earthbrain's Gar right now, who is talking about chess. Girl November, thank you again for that raid. And I'm gonna butcher this name very terribly, but Veliana? Thank you again for that follow. I very much appreciate it. Let me check the bot just in case I miss anything, but I don't think so. And Liz, thank you for the host, if you're still here. So, I'm gonna go do the things, set up a raid call actually. Which, if you guys want to come raid with me, because I usually try to send it for whenever I get raided. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Raid calls here. Raid. There's one for everybody who can't sub the channel, and for everybody who can sub. Which, you don't have to use the emotes I currently have on there. You can make it your own if you would like. Alright, raid channel. You too, I'm glad to see you. Where are we going? There we go. Start raid, and I'm gonna throw it on the end screen so you know we have a nice clean ending to the stream and whatnot.